What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. So today what I wanted to do was, I always wanted to do this video because a lot of people were asking me questions like how much was the swap, how much I paid for the Skyline and all this. I won't release how much I paid for the Skyline, but I want to break down into detail, literally every single detail of what I spent and what I bought, what was like donated to me, stuff like that for the 1J swap for the R34 Skyline. Let me go ahead, get situated right here. Got my little stool, made a whole list and everything to break it all down. Literally, I want to break it down literally to the T, because not a lot of people do it, just like going down to buying clams, buying hoses, fuel lines, all that stuff. So I'm literally gonna break it down, how much I spent, and if it's actually the cheapest swap that you could do. I'm not including the RB25 because the RB25, RB26 technically isn't a swap, even though you are taking the motor out and putting another motor in. But I'm talking in reference, like say if you did an SR swap, VQ, LS, 1J, 2J, stuff like that. So let's break it down. I'm walking everywhere. All right. There's gonna be a lot of talking. So in like the little corner, I'll put a clip of when we went to Japan and stuff like that. Don't mind all the white stuff. Got a little happy. Had to do some side work. Even though that sounds bad also. But let's go ahead, breaking it down. Had to take notes from school to make it actually look like I did something. Like that, 4 or 5 pages. All right, here we go. R34 1J VVTi GTE motor. It's out of a JZX 100. Confirmed that. So I got that for about $13.50 without a math. Next would be, I got the S13 to 1. So for this swap, I did a lot of S chassis. I pretty much put a lot of S chassis, S13 parts into the R34. That way, pretty much bolted up. Next was the S13 to 1JZ motor mounts. Those were, I paid about 40 bucks. S13 cross member was $30 that I was able to get from my buddy Ryan. This is gonna be the cost of what I spent personally, and later on I'll also do, like later in the video, I'll do what it actually would cost, say if you were to buy everything brand new and like a wholesale cost type of thing, or if you went like on the forums and like Facebook Marketplace, stuff like that. GK Tech ABS delete, which was for the S13, S14, R chassis, they're all pretty much the same, which was $120. This is also including shipped, like everything is shipped, and or if I got it locally. Next was the J-pipe delete. I spent $200 on that shipped. All intercooler piping, couplers, I spent $200 on that shipped. So this next one, I have the ECU Master DET3. So I'm actually gonna be wiring it up. I think I'm gonna use the stock ECU. So pretty much I didn't have to spend anything there. But if I wanted to go with somewhat of a standalone to get rid of the math, I would spend about $420 on that, somewhat of a standalone for that. So this is where I saved a lot of money. The transmission I got for free. The bell housing I got for free. But if you were to get, say like online or from somebody locally, or if you got like brand new, that's pretty, you're looking at about like almost $1,000 for that. $800 to $1,000 that I've been seeing on like the 1J, 2J forums on Facebook. But I got that for free, so that literally knocked down a huge chunk of money that I was able to save. Next was the clutch fork. The clutch fork was 70 bucks and the clutch kit was $300. So the 1J came automatic, no flywheel, no clutch, no bolts, stuff like that for the flywheel, pressure plate, all that stuff. So that's what I had to buy. I was able to get with the whole kit, the pilot bearing as well. So like I said, that was $300 and $70 for the clutch fork. Pressure plate bolts, that was 7 bucks that I needed to order. And a lot of these parts that I got on, you could literally get everything on Drift Motion. Shout out to Drift Motion because they were a huge help. Aaron out there, so based out in California now. So they were pretty quick on shipping. It's like 2-3 days. Shout out to Aaron, you helped me out a lot. I know you're watching this. Next down the line, we got the flywheel, which was $90. That was just OEM flywheel. A lot of these parts were OEM also, just because we're gonna run the car stock for now, and then afterwards we'll be able to build some power, like 400 or 500 horsepower, but we're just going for a steady like 300 horse. Next is the flywheel bolts. ARP flywheel bolts I was able to get for 40 bucks. I could have saved $40 because a buddy of mine actually had them that he was gonna give to me for free, but brand new, shipped and ordered, they go for about 40 bucks at Advance Auto or Pep Boys. Next is the transmission mount, which I spent about 24 bucks on that. That was straight from the dealership, from Toyota dealer. So these two things were back when I didn't know how much they were gonna cost, but now I have an idea of what it was. So, which I need to mark down. The shifter, I can't use the stock shifter just because it's a little forward. The transmission is a little forward in the tunnel, and if I use the stock shifter, it was gonna hit into the radio, like the whole bezel there. So I had to get one from Cube Sport, which they extended, and they have like the Z mount, extension where it literally pushes it back about 3 inches, I would say. 2 to 3 inches, something like that, but it fits perfect. And that was $200 for the shifter, for the little bushing that they give you for the training shifter. So that was 200 bucks. This is where I had to change it. The drive shaft, originally it was gonna be $200, but it actually came out to be $380 to be brought over. We have some of the little stuff now. So fuel lines, I went, measured out a bunch of my fuel lines and just went straight to AutoZone and cut my own fuel lines. And everything total was about $12. It actually would have been about $6 because I only used half of whatever I measured out. Power steering lines and the fittings. This came out to about $65, $70. It was $65. So the clutch line that I had to do afterwards it was only about like $5 just to extend it from the OEM right side where it runs along the frame, and it shared the same OEM line, the RB on the Skyline, from the Clutchmaster cylinder. I had to get a new clutch slave cylinder, which was about 27 bucks, and that one was straight from Toyota as well. Next is the battery relocation kit, which was $100 from Jegs. Shout out to Jegs because it literally came with everything. If you didn't see the video, definitely see the video on that when the Skyline actually gets some power, because I felt like I did a somewhat of a good job explaining that, because I was pretty hyped that I did it somewhat legit, and more legit than I did for my 240. Next was with the battery relocation kit, I got the battery distribution box, which is about $10. Mark that all off. And literally the only thing left that I needed to do was, I got 2 extra couplers that I needed to special order, 45 degree and 90 degree coupler, which was about $12 shipped with the clamp. The only thing left that I really needed was the mat and the block off plate for the idle air control valve. Those are the 2 other things, but the idle air control valve, you could actually just make it yourself, or you could just buy it for, I think it's about like $15, $20 online. Add drift motion as well. These damn flies, man. And then the other thing was, I don't know how to do wiring to actually power it up. Like I said, I was gonna use the ECU Master DET3, which is about $420, and which was about standalone, but one of my buddies is actually gonna come by and help me with the wiring. So I was just giving him a couple of bucks. I also wanted to run with Wire Specialties, but they were on a 2-month back order, and they were quoting me around like $1,200 to have a custom harness like that, since it's never been done before for that company. All right, adding up everything, so the total for everything came out to exactly $33.47. So that's how much I'm into this swap, and pretty much everything is done engine wise to get the car running and everything. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is just add in some of the parts that it would cost a little bit more if you were to get, like I said, like I got the free bell housing and the free training. So if you were able to find something like locally, it'd be a little bit more. And as well as I'm gonna add in to say if you got the Wire Specialties harness. So 3347. Also, the Jay-Z's went up because literally when I picked it up, it was about $1350, and 3 months before that, they were going for about $900 to $1,000. So now that everybody's on the Jay-Z craze, they're starting to inflate in price. So with that being said, so 3347 plus 1700, because they're going for about 1700 right now. I think that's what Jimmy said he paid. 1700. Now the next thing is S13 cross member. I was able to get one from my buddy, but usually like on the 240 forum, they're going for about like 70 bucks. Next we have the transmission and the bell housing. So like I said before, it's about $800 to $1,000. So I'm just gonna round up to being about $1,000. And then add in the fact that if you were to do a wire harness from Wire Specialties, that's about another $1,000 to $1,200 depending on the final price. So adding all of that together, we are at about $7,117. That's to do everything exactly the way I just did it, with a couple of the parts that I was able to get for free or got at a discount rate, since I did a lot of like S13, S14 parts into it. So that right there, I saved myself from $7,117 to $3,347. $3,770 is how much I saved on this swap. Now with that being said, you can see the flies like flying around everywhere. That being said, RB26s right now are going for about $3,200 to $3,500, which you can see why I went with the 1J being literally more than half the cost, as well as RB25 Series 1, Series 2, they're going for about $1,800 to $1,900, and then if you want a Neo, they're going for about $2,300 to $2,600, depending on the location. If you're also, we're in the Northeast as well, so that plays a huge factor compared to, say, if you were to ship it from Florida or from California or something like that. Forgot to mention one thing. One of the most important and somewhat expensive thing is the downpipe and the exhaust. So the downpipe, I was actually able to get it custom made. That was about $100 to get it custom made, with the downpipe going to the exhaust. And the exhaust I was able to get for free. The muffler is what I'm still holding off on, which I don't know, I kind of want to get a legit one. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna go on Kruger, which is like all the JDM parts, to see how much it is, because their stuff is stupid cheap, and they have a lot of cheap stuff from Up Garage there. So definitely check that website out if you haven't. Literally have everything, stupid cheap too. Wheels, like I found a set of R34 headlights, corner lights, literally for about $7, and then the shipping is where it does get expensive, because for wheels it's about like $300-400 to get it shipped, but the wheels alone are costing about $500-600. So you're getting a set of legit wheels for literally $1,000. But if you wanted to get say like a CX Racing downpipe, which I know for the 1Js they're about $200 to $250, around that range, and a whole exhaust, which is about another $300-400. So add that to the total and you're already looking at about $7,600 if you were to do it another way. And then my way was about total, which was about like $3,600. So, but that's that. You kind of see where I went with, or the reasoning behind why I went with the 1J. And honestly, I wanted to do something different. Like I said, from when I first started this car, I didn't want to go with the RB25 or the RB26 just because I've had a RB literally for years. And like you can see, it's in the drift car. And I went just to do something different, just because when I went to the car show, like I said, I saw 3 R34s, all had RB26s. I know it's a Skyline thing, they should have their RBs. But what makes I don't know, what makes cars unique are that you can literally do whatever you want and you can make it somewhat work. That was a little video of how much I spent on the Skyline. Like always, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Get yourself a sticker, get yourself a hoodie because it's about to be cold pretty soon. Get yourself a t-shirt if you live like in California or Florida and it's hot all the time. But stay tuned, guys.